and this is the global forecast for February 2019. I said that January was likely to be the toughest month of 2019. Yep. And now I'm saying that February is likely to be the second toughest month of 2019. And I'm just going to add to that and say that March is also not going to be easy, but by the time we're collectively into the end of March, I think that 65% of the challenges of 2019 are already over. But let's get there. Now, during February, there's a number of issues that need addressing. Let's deal with the moons first of all. The new moon on the 4th of February, get it right, takes place at 15 degrees of Aquarius, with Saturn at 15 degrees of Capricorn and Neptune at 15 degrees of Pisces. So this is going to really challenge the way we bring the imagination coming through. Neptune, in this particular new moon, Neptune in Pisces is saying, come on, let's do something new. Let's reinvent the wheel. Let's start something again. Let's have a lot more compassion. Let's try something. Let's break free and start something new for ourselves. Saturn in Capricorn is going, no, let's stick to the old, tried, traditional, structured, disciplined ways. So at the start of February, there's going to be a lot of hiatus economically, politically, between those who want to do something new and those who want to stick to the old, and it's going to get messy. The full moon on the 19th of February at 0 degrees of Virgo is nicely trying both Mars and Uranus, and hopefully that's going to bring a degree more interesting developments into the world. It is the aspects of the outer planets that are most interesting though. The big one is that both Jupiter and Saturn are now affecting Neptune, but Saturn sextiling Neptune is the big one during February. Saturn in Capricorn is saying build structure and boundary in a way that pays attention to the honour and loyalty to the past, but at the same time opens up to a new future as long as the boundaries are flexible. Neptune in Pisces is talking about empathy, compassion, sympathy for those people less fortunate than ourselves, and a concern for the environment. But Saturn sextile Neptune, on the one hand, is bringing a much more rounded and balanced approach into Neptune's bringing a more sympathetic and empathic side to Saturn's more disciplined, structured boundaries. On the other hand, Saturn is helping Neptune structure its imagination. So with Neptune in Pisces, I'm saying to a lot of people that fantasy stays between the ears, but the imagination can be created. Saturn is bringing the ability to structure the imagination. With this new moon on the 4th acting as a kind of block for both of these, I don't expect results on this sextile yet, but the more we get into the year, the more I think we're going to start seeing unusual ideas percolating through around things like economic blockades, shutdowns, Brexits, and particularly refugee issues. So hopefully we'll see some type of solution here. What else have we got going on this month? Well, Mercury, I'm not too worried what Mercury's doing. It's a bit of a side player, although the Mercury-Neptune conjunction around the 19th, around the new moon, is around the full moon, is particularly significant. So you need to look at this in your own individual charts and see what house it falls in. Venus in Capricorn, not worried by that. Jupiter's trucking through Sagittarius, doing its own thing at the moment, and that's not causing any new problems, apart from a few Sagittarians, Virgos, Geminis and Pisces. Mars. From the 15th onwards, Mars moves into Taurus, and a lot of people breathe a sigh of relief, probably apart from Taurians. But in the first 2 weeks of February, Mars is at the end of Aries. During this time, it's going to make two very, very interesting aspects. Mars starts the month in exact square to Pluto. The exact square comes on the 2nd of February. But over the last couple of days of January and the first 2 or 3 days of February, Mars is squaring Pluto. And all of those people whom Pluto has been affecting over this last year or so, or at this time, are going to get seriously stimulated. Most of them in a challenging way. What this tells me is that this is going to be replicated into the world. And I expect some type of divisive, quasi-explosive between Mars in Aries, who's going to want to take action without thinking, and Pluto in Capricorn, which is going saying transform your notions of government. So Mars square Pluto is going to be the knee-jerk reaction of people who see the process of change as being too slow. So I expect the first few days of February to be well feisty, quite provocative, quite impulsive, and with a few headless chickens out there doing exactly and saying exactly the wrong thing. And then Mars conjuncts Uranus at 29 degrees of Aries and 29.5 degrees of Aries. And this is going to be over the 12th to the 14th of February. This is also likely to be a very fiery, feisty, provocative time with a lot of sudden changes kicking in. And it's pretty unpredictable as well because, I mean, to anyone with a bit of astrological knowledge, come on, Mars conjunct Uranus at the last degree of Aries. That's enough to send shivers down a lot of people's spines. There's going to be some type of volatile, impulsive, sudden, incisive action around the end of the second week of February that is going to shock the world, hopefully in a positive way, probably not. Certainly it impacts big time on Britain's chart. I've said what I've said about the monarchy, I don't need to go into that anymore. Crazy times, folks. By the time we're all collectively into, say, the 16th, 17th of February, the new moon on the 19th, we can all breathe a sigh of relief. But for the first couple of weeks of February, yeah, just don't get involved. Stay below the radar screen. Practice being Teflon coated. May we live in interesting times. God, I'll be so pleased when we get to the end of March. Catch you later, world. Bye.